All right, let's jump right in. We're about to crack open a text that's 2,500 years old. But this isn't some dusty history lesson. No, this is about decoding a seriously sophisticated map of the human mind. And get this, it might be even more relevant now than it was back then.
So think about it. How do you actually read something that's 2.5 millennia old? When you're looking at these ancient words, are you just getting a simple translation, or are you really tapping into what the author was trying to say? That's the puzzle we're going to tackle today.
It all starts with a phrase like this one, Ge hasita somanasa. I know, it sounds pretty alien, right? Super mysterious. But here's the crazy part. Locked inside these two ancient Pali words is a feeling that you and I experience all the time.
So, the first kind of simple translation you'd find in a dictionary is household-based joy. You know, the happiness you get from, well, stuff, getting that thing you really wanted, or even just thinking about it. Sounds simple enough, right? But what if that simple translation is totally missing the real genius behind the idea?
Okay, so let's start there with that first layer. This is the basic 101 map of our feelings, straight out of this ancient teaching.
So check this out. The text basically says our entire emotional world can be boiled down to 3 core feelings: joy, grief, and this other state called equanimity. But then, and this is the cool part, it splits each of those into 2 totally different flavors. One is called household-based, and the other is called renunciation-based. So you end up with this grid of 6 fundamental emotional states. Super clean, very logical.
And you know what? It's a did map. It's clear, but it's also a little flat. Kind of like a 2D map of a mountain range. You see the shapes, but you don't feel the height. You don't see the cliffs. So, what happens when we throw away the dictionary for a second and actually dig into the roots of these words? What if we could make this map 3D?
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. We're going to become language detectives for a minute. We're going deeper, using a technique from the ancient tradition of niruti, which is basically a way to get insight into where the words originally came from.
And bam, suddenly the meaning totally shifts. Household-based isn't just about your house. It's about being tied to the house, like you're tethered to it. And renunciation-based is not about passively giving something up. It's the powerful, active choice to step out of the house. All of a sudden, this isn't about what you own anymore. It's about your freedom.
Okay, let's zoom in on that word, nekama. It literally breaks down into 2 parts, ni, which means out, and kam, which means to step. So you see, it has nothing to do with sadly giving something up. It's a powerful move. It's stepping out of a box, walking away from confinement. It is pure liberation.
All right, so let's use that same detective work on that third feeling, upekkha. Now, the usual translation is equanimity. And I don't know about you, but that word always sounded kind of meh. A little passive, maybe even like you don't care. But the root meaning, it's onlooking. Whoa, that's a completely different vibe, isn't it?
And if you break it down, upekkha comes from upa, meaning near, and ikkati, meaning to see near. So this isn't about zoning out or being indifferent. It's the absolute opposite. It's the active skill of looking at something super closely, seeing it for exactly what it is, but without getting all tangled up in the drama. It's engaged, it's wise, it's powerful. Okay, so we've analyzed the words. Now let's get real. Let's translate these big ideas into experiences we can all recognize and really see what these 2 different ways of being happy feel like. First up, that household joy. You know this feeling. It's that little buzz you get when your phone dings with a notification you've been waiting for. It's the thrill of unboxing a new gadget. It's hearing someone give you a great compliment. It's a rush for sure, but it's completely dependent on something outside of you.
But then you have the joy of stepping out. This is a totally different flavor. Think about that huge sense of relief when you finally clean out that messy garage, or when you truly forgive someone, or just let go of a worry that's been eating you up. See, this joy doesn't come from getting anything. It comes from releasing something. It's all about lightness, freedom.
And this difference is absolutely crucial for equanimity. You could say there are 2 kinds of whatever. There's household equanimity, which is the whatever of ignorance. It's being numb, just checking out. But then there's renunciation equanimity, the onlooking. That's the whatever that comes from deep wisdom. It's the calm you feel when you see a situation perfectly clearly and you're just unshakable.
So the text isn't just describing things, it's giving us a game plan. It's saying, look, rely on that feeling of freedom you get from letting go. Use that wisdom to see the trap of always needing more stuff. You literally use the joy of release to overcome the craving to get more. It's an active workout for your mind, designed to get you to a place beyond all these categories.
So just think about what we did here. We moved from a simple, flat translation to a dynamic psychological instruction manual. We've basically unlocked a whole new way to see our own inner world.
Because in the end, this was never an academic exercise. The point isn't to argue about the single correct word. The whole point is to use these ancient concepts like keys that unlock a more profound and useful understanding of how our own minds work, right here, right now.
And the text leaves us with this incredible image. An animal tamer can really only teach an animal to run in one direction. But a person who has trained their own mind this way, well, they're not stuck on a single track. They can navigate freely, in all directions, through the entire landscape of human experience. Now that is the kind of freedom this mind map points toward.
And that leaves us with a question to chew on. This whole process was about looking past the surface of a word to find a deeper, more powerful meaning. So, what ideas in your own life about success, or happiness, or freedom, if you really looked at their roots, might reveal a completely different map?